Well, hello, hello, and welcome to the Coaching Business Spotlight Show. And I'm going to say, welcome to the Coaching Business Winter Special Spotlight Show for this winter, 2025. For the past few episodes and back at the end of 2024, we have been exploring your vision and how to make it a reality. And I'm going to continue that today. We're going to bring it to a what I think of as a really important part of reality. So, this show is intended to bring you insight in ways that you can succeed in your coaching business in a way that's authentic. It honors your values. It lets your light shine for the sake of those you most want to serve. How does that sound? I like it when I say it. I think it's really, really true. Before I even get into my topic, it's one of the things that when the coaches that I work with so often when they get stuck in their marketing, especially, it's because they've forgotten that the whole point of coaching is to be of service to other people, and marketing is no different. So, the topic today, we're looking at the kind of taking the vision, getting into action about it. And there's something that really came up on my radar because it's happening to me personally. And I've noticed in all of my first of the year sessions that I've had with the people in my program and those who are in the program on the group calls, both, there's a lot of, I hear, oh, they're getting started on the year. We have a 21-day challenge in our community, and people are excited and they're getting into action. But then life happens. That's what I hear in one iteration or another. Oh, I didn't get that done because my cousin came into town, because my new grandbaby was born, because the electricity went out in my house. There was a fire in LA. For me, it's like I'm buying and selling houses. There's so many things that come up. I'm going to say life happens. And what I want to talk to you about today, and this connects with your vision, because I'm assuming I have this assumption, or I'm imagining many of you are like me and like the people in our community. You're in gear for a new year and you want to make something happen. You want to create something. And maybe you haven't taken into account that in order to make that happen, you have to address the fact that life happens and things will get in your way. I'm going to start with a story that happened a long, long time ago when I first started as a coach. And this is in my book, Evolve Your Coaching Business. I have this story where I don't know, I was lucky, I was ambitious. I just started off very strong when I got certified, and I took some business training programs, and I just learned a few things about business and I got into action. And by the first year, I had 10 clients and I had a marketing system that was working to bring more clients in. I was working a system, I was networking, I had a marketing message, and things were humming along. And I quit my job at the Postal Service, making pretty good money. There's golden handcuffs, great benefits. Quit my job. I had a lot of confidence. I can do this thing. I got it. And then life happened. I got a divorce. I moved from Pennsylvania to California. So those two things alone, other things probably, and I didn't take into account what I needed to make my coaching business continue when life happened. And I remember a day when I landed in LA. I hadn't been I let all my clients know I'm moving. There's going to be a time, and I want to say that's all right. Sometimes there are things that happen in our life we have to let our clients know about, but I didn't understand how important it was to keep touch with my business and how it was evolving, and to keep something moving so that when I came back, I could land on my feet, which I did not. I was not that kind of cat at the time. I did not land on my feet. Got to LA. I got, kind of settled in a little bit. Oh, and now I'm remembering, and my father died. So this was the other thing, right? Getting a divorce, moved to California. And right in the middle of all that, because this is one of the reasons I moved to California, because my dad was sick and I was coming to help him out and take care of him. Since I quit my job at the Postal Service, I thought, well, he needs help. I'll move to California, take care of him, when he needs me. And then actually on my way to California from Pennsylvania, my father passed. So all that is happening to me at one time. And when I found my footing, and I had a couple clients who I stayed connected with, and I kept some irregular coaching with, but I contacted the other, what, let's say eight, and every single one of them had something they said like, I've moved on, or I just think I need to, I've taken a break. I think I want a little longer break. There were things I got those messages, and so now I'm down to two clients. And it was pretty devastating for me. And really, in some ways, I had to start over, even though I still knew what to do because I'd done it once. So that was great. But I had to kind of get the gears rolling again. I had to re-engage around my message. I had to reconnect with people. It took a very big effort. And was a huge lesson for me. And it's never happened again. I'm just going to tell you, sometimes those lessons really come and I get it. So I want to impart my hard-earned wisdom to you today about how you can prevent that from happening. Now, most of the life happens is not quite that dramatic. Again, these people in my program, they're telling me things but they're just regular life things that come up and they're going to come up. And I want you to be prepared for that. That's my number one tip is prepare for life to happen. Assume things are going to come up to take your time and energy and focus. And when they do, you want your business to still keep rolling around. You want to have business still coming in the door. Am I right? Or like Harvecker used to say, am I right or am I right? Yes, I see the hands raised all over the world about this one. So here's tip number two. So number one is prepare for that to happen in your mind. First of all, okay, so there is no such thing as I'm just going to, focus on my business and give it all my attention and that's all. And but live my life and be balanced, but I'm just going to go for it without knowing that there are events that come, some we choose, some we don't choose, that will take your attention away from your business building. So I want you, this is the tip, to have a plan for that. Okay. Now, this is a part of my brand new Soul Strategy Vision course that I'm going to be unveiling very soon. I wanted you to know about it. I'm very excited because it has everything that I have ever learned about visioning. It's put into a course that's intended for a person to go through in a weekend or a month's time, a short period of time, to no matter where you are in your year, if you want to get in touch with your vision and get into action. My vision course is the thing. I'm just saying. And one of the last modules in it is all about planning. And in particular, taking your vision and putting that into a plan. This is a great time to do it at the beginning of the year to really chunk that vision down, look at the course of the year, map out where, if you want to increase your income, look out over the year how it will incrementally increase and put those in your calendar and then look at the activities it's going to take to increase that income. Put those in your calendar, right? You keep chunking it down until you get to the day to day. And this is what I've learned I think I'm going to say a fresh learning around it with my own circumstance right now I'm in escrow selling a house, I'm in escrow buying a house, and there's so much packing. It hasn't even started, but my mind's around that. And yet I know that if I just drop my focus on my business, maybe not as bad as it was 20 years ago, but business will fall off because business is an entity that needs attention. It needs to have attention put on it. It needs things to keep moving along. So you're reaching people, you're paying attention to the people you're working with currently, you're implementing your marketing and sales plans. Those things keep moving. So once I started doing this I call it calendarize. I don't know if that's a word, it might be calendarizing my year. And there's a real linear way it can be done. And I know many of you might be that way, like in check boxes, like put it on your online calendar but I want to talk about some more creative ways that I have found that really help me in times like this when it's hard to focus. So, of course, I have a vision board. That's a great thing. I highly encourage that. I know I've talked about that in other podcasts, but I also do planning in ways. So I have some big calendars. I have more than one, maybe three or four that I can get messy with. I can write things down on them and I don't have to count on that, long term. I can play with this one calendar to see, ooh, how does this work out? And if it doesn't, I can just rip those pages off. That's one way I do it. I have one of the most fun calendar planning books, and I don't have the name of it right here. I'm sorry about that. If you want the name, contact me. But I got it on Amazon, and it's just so cool. It's pretty, and it's got all these inspiring messages in it. And I use it for special projects. So when I open it, I know, oh, this is where my heart sings, where my creative work is. This is the project I'm working on that's not necessarily the day-to-day working with clients and the people in my program. This is that bigger picture project that's going to move my business forward in a way that is so exciting to me, and it takes time. So I have a project book that I'm working with. One of my very favorite ways of calendarizing, and I think I invented this. Maybe I think I saw it somewhere and then I invented my own version. It's a magnet board. So I have a magnet board that's kind of like, oh, I don't know, 24 by 24, let's say, kind of 2 feet by 2 feet. And I take cards. They're small. They're not as big as an index card, although you can take index cards and cut them in half, and then I get little round magnets and stick them on the you can get these little sticky magnets and stick them on the back, and I put on the cards the things that I really want to make happen. And this can be I put on this one, this is social, family, vacations, and my work. Like, okay, I'm doing a workshop on a 21-day challenge. What are all the things that need to get done so that I can promote it and I can know that the workshop's going to be good and be ready for the challenge and the people in it. At the same time, like now, okay, on my magnet board now is, look over all the money pieces about this and that and start packing. And I put them all on one board, this one board, so that I can see my whole life. I mean, I have on it, I had a new grandson that was born last week, Ari, and his birthday changed. I have a daughter who's getting married this Friday, Emily. Her wedding date is on there. So I can also look, I have vacations that I have planned. I have music festivals to go to. What I love about this kind of planning is that, again, I think of it as creative. It inspires all of me. And when I look at it, I can see the balance in my life. It's not the day-to-day balance, like I need to take a walk and eat well and that kind of thing, but it's more the balance of, oh, these are all the activities, if I look at my whole life, that are super important to me. And what I love about having it on a magnet board is that once I put dates on them and then I pull them off when they're done. And if they don't get done when the date is, I just either cross the date out or, I move it. I kind of move the card to another spot. And this keeps me from feeling defeated. Oh gosh, I didn't get it done. I meant to get it done by January 17th, but that day came and went. I have many of those things on my magnet board right now. And I look at them and I think, well, this and that, and these three things happened. And so that didn't get created. Where do I want to put that? So it keeps me in creative flow. So I don't know if you literally want to do a magnet board. It might be fun, and maybe you have your own creative way of doing this, but I'm encouraging you to create a planning system that you can look at the things that you want to do, most important things in your life, all at one time and move them around. You could simply have cards that you put out on a table. And this is leading me to part two of what I want to talk about here. Or maybe this is part three. So be prepared. That's number one. Be prepared. Things are going to happen, and you want to have some systems in place. There are a lot of systems that I now have in place in my business with marketing and sales and getting a blog out and getting this podcast out and people helping me. And they all really, really, really help. But without this piece that I'm talking about today, I would not be able to be engaged with all of it, right? You need to be able to stay connected to what's happening in your business and in your life at the same time. That's what I'm really encouraging here. Don't drop one ball. Don't drop it. You might, I'm, if you're not watching, you can, I'm taking my hand, like you can put the ball over there, or, maybe put it on a shelf here. But here's the next part that's so important. So have a way of having things on a calendar that's beyond the I'm scheduling your clients and things that are actually going to happen like that, right? Or like if you have a group coaching call or some kind of a seminar, those are usually in my online calendar. Great. And I have a day planner for that. So I can look at that. I know what's going to happen. I can keep tabs on that. I'm encouraging you to have another kind of planner, at least one, if not more, that's more creative. It's messy. You can move things around. You can scribble things out, but you can stay, you stay on track with it because you can see it and you can you check in and find out, is this still important to me? Here's this next tip. You need to have a time in that calendar. And I would suggest this is a time literally in your online calendar or your scheduler to look at your plan. That's just maybe sounds, if you're not a planner, this may make you laugh, but without time to look and assess your plan, a plan is no good. It's actually either going to become a taskmaster, it's going to become untenable. So many ways it can go south. When you take the time to look at your plan, that means you connect again with your heart. You connect with your inner wisdom. You connect with, oh, what is that plan? It's not the plan controlling you or the plan being out of control. It's you. Oh, it's like a lot. It's alive. Your plan is alive. And you can look at it and go, that's right. I have this. I'm going to be doing the board of Los Angeles ICF on Sunday. I'm going to be doing a visioning for them. I better get ready for that. As opposed to, oh no, I forgot all about it with this whole house thing. Or the other way I could have gone with that is I'm all totally ready for the board visioning, and there's an important piece of paper that didn't get communicated and now things are behind in the escrow. Is this landing with you? I really, really hope it is. I know I get some pushback on planning sometimes. People feel like, well, I just want to take one thing at a time, and planning takes me out of the now, and it's trying to control things. And I just want to take a stand that planning can be as creative, intuitive, in touch with your spirit, the universe, as anything else. It's merely a way of organizing what you want to create and the time frame you're going to do it in, right? I read somewhere, it's like a goal is a dream with a deadline. That's how I feel about planning. It's like a dream, things I really, really want or that I have a responsibility to. That's a value of mine. And I want to be in integrity because other people are counting on me. And I want to be to honor that. So be prepared. Number one, that life is going to happen. You're going to need things to be in place in order to keep moving your business forward in a way that keeps your life moving forward or addressing the important things in your life. The people that you want to be there for are actually going to benefit if you have a plan to keep your business moving forward and it's integrated with your life plan. That's be prepared, create creative ways of planning. If you don't have them, please start poking around. Just Google it or chat GPT. What are some creative ways to plan? There's mind mapping too. A lot of people love that. Like find a way for you on a regular basis to plan what you want to do and be able to move it around when life happens, not dump it, but to move it so it's still there and still moving and your business is still growing and still has the attention on it because it's important to you. And as I said at the beginning, it's important to the people you serve. The last piece I want to put in here, so take the time to look over your plan and take time to meander. I love meandering. So when I say look at your plan, I want you to, yes, you're looking at the activities, you're looking at what you need to do, what might have gotten dropped that needs to get moved. Meandering to me is you kind of take in the information. Maybe you then go for a walk, or you do some journaling, or you put on some music and dance, and you're like, okay, this is what I'm planning. What's here now for me? What's what's the information that wants to come through about how to move forward with my business in a way that works with my whole life? There's an inquiry for you. As you're dancing, moving around, walking, meander with it. Open yourself up for new information to come through because it will. I said this was the last thing. Here's something that we just talked about today in the 21-day challenge that I'm holding. We're focusing on my process, the soul search, which is a way to access your highest good and power and wisdom and identify the best action to take. So here is the last tip on this. So you're preparing for life to happen. You're planning and you're doing it in creative ways and you're meandering with it. And the last piece is keep in action, even if the action is taking a nap. Even there was a woman in the group today. She's like, her action she took was to step back. Even if your action is to step back, if you intentionally go, my business, I'm just gonna put it right here for a day or two, and then I'll come back to it. That's intentionally okay. You might need a little break. And maybe there's something that takes a week, but do it intentionally and put a very clear mark on your calendar of when you're coming back and have ready to go what you want to go on. Because staying in action, that inspired action, that action that includes doing and being, is the best way I know to grow your business when life happens, and it includes your joy and that fulfillment that comes with the life that includes all the things that you want to do, which is why we have coaching businesses to begin with. So we can serve people, we can have the life we want to have at work, at home, at play. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. It's been really so much fun. What I love when I can depart wisdom or my idea of wisdom from something I learned the hard way and I figured out a way to do it much easier. I think maybe that's what coaching is all about sometimes, although, it's not always about our opinion, but when you're a coach who has a message and you really want to help people with a specific area of their life or something that you find heartfelt, passionate about, there's just nothing like it. So I love doing that. I hope it helps you. And my intention is to give you that so that you too can go out, make the world a better place. Why not? Thanks for joining.